Jó reggelt kívánok, hogy vagy? Yo? Oh, goodness gracious. I was going to name this video. I was going to name this video Highway Robbery. And that's how I felt. You know, I pulled up to a Starbucks. I'm in Cordelia. I woke up this morning just after, well, I woke up at 4 and out of bed about 4:15 and on the road at about 4:30. And I made it as far as Cordelia, which is just right on Interstate 80. And I stopped at a McDonald's, which I try not to do. I really tried to stay away from McDonald's. But stop at McDonald's, and it cost $8.50 for a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit and a hash brown and a small orange juice. Without the orange juice, it was like $7.50 or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, my goodness gracious. You know, it's interesting as you travel, such as I do, and you go from one place to another, and you'll see the prices. And you know, probably one of the biggest influences on the prices here in California is the minimum wage. The minimum wage in California is something like, oh, I don't know what it is, $15 or something like that. Not that it shouldn't be, mind you. You know, I don't know what the minimum wage should be. I know in Florida it's significantly lower than it is here in California. But businesses ultimately have to pay, you know, for that. You know, they have to pay the minimum wage, and alternatively they raise the price of my bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit to $7.50. You know, so anyway, I was going to name that's what I was going to name the video this morning, Highway Robbery. But I thought the ones that got away with the broken heart, the disintegrating heart, you know, would get more views. And you know, speaking of views, I was talking with some of my couple of my friends yesterday. You know, I'm always challenged as to, you know, when you call somebody a friend and not. I mean, do you just call people friends to make it seem like you've got friends? Or when in fact they're really acquaintances? I mean, where do you draw the line between an acquaintance and a friend? You know, it's kind of like, when do you call you know, a female a girl or a woman? You know, it's like, when do you call somebody in your life a friend or an acquaintance? Or maybe a friend and acquaintance are the same thing, you know? I've got I've got no shortage of acquaintances, but I can probably count what I would consider friends to be on maybe one hand. I don't know if Skip Smith would be on that hand or not. Skip Smith might be over here, but then again, he could be over here. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the hell to call Skip Smith, but anyway, just say, hey, maybe as long as I don't call him late for dinner, he doesn't care, you know. But anyway, so the what the heck's on my mind? You know, I'm headed, albeit in a long about way. I'm headed home, and I don't have any remorse, maybe is the word, or bad feelings about not going up to Washington and British Columbia. You know, you gotta be a little bit realistic. I mean, this is going into the third week of July, and just all the moving. You know, to do a trip, and that would include going up to British Columbia. It would just include, you know, moving, you know, every 2 days or something like that, 3 days. And then how enjoyable does the trip become, you know, when you're just constantly moving? But you know, I spent oh, I don't know. I've been in California now probably close to a month. I spent the better part of about 5 days in Ventura, and then I drove up to Monterey and spent the better part of a week in Monterey, and just left Santa Rosa. Spent almost 2 weeks in Santa Rosa, and now I'm going up to Lake Tahoe, and I'll spend almost a week up in Lake Tahoe. So you know that kind of that's a much more doable pace, and I'm still not quite sure where I'll go from Lake Tahoe. Probably, I mean, the easy thing would just to be to stay on, what is it, 80 or whatever it is, and head east through the heartland of the United States. That'd be the easy route. But alternatively, going up through Idaho. I was looking at Boondockers Welcome yesterday. Saw this nice place. This couple in their 50s that owns a really large farm in Idaho Falls, which or Twin Falls. I think it's Twin Falls, Idaho. Saw a couple that own this beautiful farm, and they've got all the bells and whistles to hook up your camper. They even a dump. You know, they've got a dump, electric, Wi-Fi, water, everything. You know, so I may very well go up to Twin Falls and spend you know, a few nights up there. But last night I actually plugged into my phone the driving route from where I was in Santa Rosa all the way up to, what is it, Nova Scotia or something like that, something like 3,500 miles or some crazy thing like that. I'm thinking, oh my goodness gracious, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna take it in baby steps. You know, it's like that's always been my approach in life, and when I'm coaching somebody, as far as you know, approaching everything, don't always focus when you're trying to learn something or achieve something. Don't always focus on the big picture. You know, keep the big picture in the back of your mind, but focus on the little steps. Your focus needs to be on just the little steps. Because the little steps add up, and the little steps add up to the big picture that's in the back of your mind. So whenever I'm trying to learn something or whatever, you know, or when I was trying to get an education, you know, there's always this big challenge out there looming, you know, and you think, God, I'm never going to do that, or never going to achieve that, or whatever. And somewhere along the line, I learned to just put that on the shelf, you know, put it on the shelf, and just focus on the little steps that are going to get me to the big picture. And right now, the little steps that are going to get me to New England in the autumn are going to be these short trips to, you know, Lake Tahoe and Idaho, and ultimately to Michigan and what have you. So anyway, that's on my mind. As far as the ones that got away, you know, yesterday I was at this Thursday night market. Thursday night, I did a video for those of you that follow me regularly. I did a video, and I got to tell you, you know, every now and then when you're traveling, you know, such as now, I'm a little bit road weary. And George, I got your email. Thank you. George has this tendency to now and then write me just a really long, heartfelt email, as do a few other people, and you know, I appreciate it. I get those emails, and I read the email. I just don't always have the time per se to respond as I would like to, but anyway, so I'm a little bit road weary at the moment, to be quite honest with you. And when you get road weary, you know, it's just kind of like, you know, you know that even if you wanted to go home and sleep in your own bed, It's it's not something that's going to happen overnight, and you just gotta bear with it, so to speak. But last night I was at the market. I was at the market and the concert, and you go to these concerts, you go to an event such as like this, and it's and and of course you're going to see couples, you know, couples sitting on the lawn and couples and whatever. And last night I'm walking around this thing and enjoying the music, and I'm thinking to myself, I need a woman. I need a woman. And and as I was thinking that, I found myself driving home last night thinking about the ones that got away, the ones that the ones that got away, and it's interesting that over the course of my lifetime, I've been more than blessed. I've been more than blessed with some really, really special ladies in my life. Uh, more than my share of of love, to say the very least. And and last night I was driving home, and I was just thinking about the ones in my life that got away, that that wondering what if that relationship had had come, and I ran through the gamut. I mean, not every woman that's been in my life is one that got away, so to speak. Not every woman. And I put together a short list yesterday. I put together a short list of the ones that got away, and going all the way back to when I was about 29, a young lady from Azerbaijan, from Baku. Her name was Savine, Sevindz, Savine, and she was a beautiful. All of the ones that got away were beautiful inside and out, without question. So when I say she was beautiful, I mean inside as much as outside. But Savine is the love that I took out into the vineyard one night and pointed to a star in the sky and said, if we get separated, that's where I'll be waiting for you, or you wait for me. And that was Savine, and that relationship ended, uh, primarily because of the age difference. It was a strange relationship. It was a beautiful relationship, but a strange one. It was we dated for 4 years, and it was a secret relationship. It was one of these situations where she was Muslim, or I think she was Muslim. She was Muslim or something, and came over from Azerbaijan, and had immigrated here, and it would have been like a dishonor to the family if she was dating or something, some crazy thing like that. But I loved her to death, and we dated for 4 years. And then there was Nori, good old Nori. Nori is what a beautiful lady she is, from Budapest. Nori from Budapest, and 3 of the best years of my life were spent with Nori, and lived in Budapest with her, all the while thinking that her and I were going to get married and move to California, or move to America. And after the 3 years, it turned out that she got cold feet, and the family put pressure on her not to move. And I didn't want to spend my life in a third world country. Um, I didn't want to spend the rest of my life living in Hungary. And now I look back on that and I think, well, maybe it might not have been that bad. But still keep in touch with Nori, and Nori's a wonder. She's married with two beautiful children, and I still talk to her every time I go to Budapest. I see her, and sometimes her children as well. But Nori was one that got away. And then there's Lorena. Lorena from Chile. Lorena was, what a beautiful lady she is, Lorena. And some of you folks that, I don't know if you've seen her on my videos, but I think probably the easiest way to find her would be to search something like Tom Hall, Glass Beach, Glass Beach, or Tom Hall, I think, Avenue of the Giants or something along those lines. Lorraine and I dated about 7 years ago, and that was I just don't think that in the end that her and I were compatible. But every now and then, my mind will let me go down and think, gee, what if, what if things had worked out, with Lorena. And then there was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Mercedes, beautiful, beautiful Mercedes, special Mercedes. If there was ever a special, truly, truly special woman in my life, it'd have to be Mercedes. Never met a woman like her, and I don't think I'll ever meet a woman like her again. She is really one of a kind, and boy, the love and the joy and the happiness that she brought into my dad's life during the time that we were together was just beyond belief. I mean, just the compassion and the joy and the patience that Mercedes gave to my dad was absolutely incredible. And as far as Mercedes getting away, my whole frame of mind during that period of time, I was dealing with some serious health issues, and I don't think that people fully realize the extent of the health issues that I was dealing with when I was taking care of my dad. They were to say they were bad was a bit of an understatement. I hid a lot of that. I hid a lot of the health problems that I was having, and in part because I was staying strong for my dad. But I often wonder with Mercedes if I hadn't been dealing with the health problems that I had been dealing with. If things might have turned out differently. But that being said, Mercedes is in a beautiful marriage. I think she's married now, and the gentleman that she's married to seems to be a wonderful guy. If pictures can tell the story. But and then of course there's Yanae, beautiful Yanae. What a little, what a little spitfire. What a little spitfire Yanae is. And boy, talk about a challenging situation with Yanae. And if I could have just taken Yanae and traveled the world, I probably would have done it. And the reasons that I didn't do that, they're still a little bit too personal. Still a little bit too personal to talk about. But anyway, those are the ones in my life that got away. And I hope that at some point in time, somebody will walk into my life. Somebody will walk into my life like a lot of those how could I forget Catherine? How could I forget dear Catherine from Mexico? That Catherine Keano. She used to call me Mr. Hall. And Catherine was just a beautiful, beautiful lady as well. And but anyway, those are the ones that got away, and that's not to say that there haven't been other special women in my life, mind you, because there have been. But these are the ones that I was actually in a relationship with. And but anyway, so as far as meeting the love of my life, time will tell if that actually comes to fruition. I think that's a word. I think that's a 50-cent word, fruition. But but we will see. Right now, I got to go visit a client of mine, uh, at Red D Transmission in Carmichael, California. Guy's name is Wes. He's been my client for over 10 years. And, with my clients, oftentimes it's like the client roller coaster. These clients are so dependent on me, for their business. The website, my product, brings them the majority of their business, and these guys are under so much stress with so much overhead, and they've got to have so many cars coming into their shop every week to get fixed, and when those cars aren't coming into the shop, the first thing they think to do is to call me, and they call me and ask why their phone's not ringing, and want me to fix it. But over the years, I've come to learn that a lot of these clients of mine, they kind of, some of them take the peaks and valleys better than others. Some clients, they just know that they're going to be down for a while, and then they go back up, and it's never ending. And they just deal with it. But other clients, they just freak out. They just freak out. And I almost know it's I almost know when the phone rings, because I don't hear from my clients all that often. But what made me travel down that road of discussion was, I called up Wes at Red D to see if he wants to have a coffee or a lunch or something, because I'm coming through town. And he's like, "Well, no, I don't have time." I said, "You busy?" "Oh, we're swamped. We're swamped." Just a month ago, he was calling and crying in my beer, so to speak, about how business was so bad. But anyway, such is life. Time to get on with the day, and and let you do the same. All right. So take good care. All right. Bye bye.